weiß Bescheid. Nintendo.
Welcome to the most forward-thinking, inspirational podcast on the planet. Prepare to reevaluate everything you've been taught.
They have the power. We have the numbers now. It's all just a constant illusion of control. They break us like horses.
And they can tell us we're crazy, and we can say, well, you haven't seen anything yet.
Everything you knew was a goddamn lie. Put you up and explode like it's the 4th of July. Possessed by perfection in this land, if you're awake, you're the enemy. Where they lead, you will follow. Well, I guess that's just the way it goes. And if you look away, you'll be doing what they say. And if you look alive, you'll be singled out and tried. If you every day a new deception, pick your scene and take direction, and on a search to connect, but I don't wear a mask and I have no regret. Down on your knees, you don't look so tall. Open your eyes and the empire falls. There are place that I wanna find. Could you just open your eyes and free your mind? And here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Anybody watch the Oscars? I just wanted to jump in here real quick and sort of, I guess, share my 2 cents on kind of a narrative that's been clearly offensive, annoying, more and more prevalent, more and more apparent. We sit in a situation right now where it's basically a crime to be a man. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on with that. And I'm going to, before I get into Will Smith, I'm going to get into this, which also pertains to Will Smith. A friend of mine, oh, by the way, yours truly is back in Facebook jail. It's entertaining as hell. I basically have my own condo there. All because I point things out. I mean, I don't mean to be quote unquote controversial. I just, I don't mean to be like against guidelines or whatever they want to call me, label me a terrorist or whatever the hell it is. But free thought is dying nature. Free thought is, we're being crushed by the liberal left. And there was a time where a moment of me would want to be like, well, hey man, you got to take everybody into consideration. And the truth is you do have to take everybody in consideration, but at what cost? At what cost? And I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm going to get to this story about me getting kicked off of Facebook again, or Facebook jailed, sorry. But before that, I'm just reminded of a story that I had with a client of mine earlier today. And she was talking about how all of her daughters are athletes and how it's totally unfair that this dude gets to be a chick and come in and blow all their records out of the water. Like, these girls, why does that have to be that way? I'm not opposed to trans or whatever you want to be. I'm not opposed to anything. I'm not in a position to be opposed to it. I am in a position to say, however, that modern problems need modern solutions. And if the NCAA wants to run records, put an asterisk beside it or give them a second category. right? Because everybody wants to talk about how inclusion, but at what cost? Who do we have to exclude to create inclusion? Why does my client's daughters have to, at best, come in second place? Because this guy's a girl now. And that's not my ignorance speaking. That's a point of fact. There are things that men can do better than women, and there are things that women can do better than men. And what's her name say? The judge, right? Can you define a woman? I don't know. I'm not a biologist. Okay, so it's down to biology then. All right, just wanted to clear that up. Now, is it fair that they get the opportunity to come in and win everything? Sure. Absolutely, it's fair. Every single person that's got anything that they've ever wanted should be able to go and do whatever they can to the best of their ability and to compete and to win. Right? But now's the time, I think, with the modern problems that we were talking about, modern solutions, modern situations. Why not just add another category? I mean, I'm not trying to be insensitive, whatever it is. But if there can be a male and a female, and if we can all agree, for the sake of inclusivity, that there's a male and a female, and that there's an other, who cares? Why start a fight about it? There's an other. You guys, you're whatever you want to be, male, female, and you guys, right? We're all included. We include the males, we include the females, and then we include you guys, you folk. You're included. Yay! We all win. But it's not fair to take, in my opinion, from someone who's worked their entire lives, day in and day out. It's not fair to take. And again, I'm all for inclusivity. We need new solutions. Now, back to Facebook. Shit. So a friend of mine put up a post, and it was a very articulate post. It said, "The world watched Will Smith listen to his wife tell him live that she had an affair. People laughed at Will. He became a meme. Tyrese Gibson had a mental breakdown online in regards to not seeing his daughter in 2 years. People laughed at him. He became a meme too. When Kanye West had a mental breakdown live on TV, people called him crazy. He too became a meme. Yet people wonder why men don't open up about their mental health problems." Of course I'm going to reply to that. I didn't think I was being vindictive, or that I could be vindictive in a reply to that. And my reply was simple. It said, because men are evil, and it's a crime to be a male according to the media. And this particular piece of media was social media. And within 3 minutes, I got a notification. You have been blocked and banned. Your post and comments do not go with our community guidelines. Let's see here. This goes against standard hate speech and inferiority. So, by me trying to say that men are being criminalized in the media, I was sent to Facebook jail. And that's the truth. It's a strange spot to be when, if you voice an opinion and and whoever you're voicing it to, they have the ability to take that from you. It's one of those things where it's like, do you fear it? Do you fear being silenced? Do you fear that they're coming for you? For being who you are, for being what you want to be, for saying the things you want to say. And if you're operating with purity, then no. If you're operating with vindication, then you're a dick. But if you're here to try to figure out more about who you are and what you're doing, and if you decide that, even if you were a giant pile of shit for a long time, and you decide that you want to change who you are, you legitimately want to change, then you're going to start taking actions and steps. And if you are now faced with consequences of those actions and steps, i.e., I'm saying these things now to raise awareness as opposed to being a dick, again, we change our tonality. When you change your tonality, what you say, how you say what you say changes. Therefore, the reception of what you say changes. But when everything's down to bots and algos and this, that, and the other thing, and the fact that I've been targeted because I've been put in Facebook jail so many times that if I even trigger one of their things, I'm censored. Do I worry about this, or do I understand that what it's doing, what it being life is doing, is pushing me off from where I stood? In other words, don't waste your time on Facebook. You know, there are other places out there to get your message across, to do the things that you want to do. I don't need to be on Facebook, and none of us really need to be on Facebook, because if you look at Facebook the way it is, it's the algorithm is set up to perpetuate more hate, more crime, more fear, more anger. Why has Zucks allowed us to insult Russians? Russians have done nothing to anybody, right? Vladimir Putin made a decision to do some things, and the very same media that lied to us for 2.5 years about COVID went full bore in support of Zelensky. Now, to anyone listening to the show that goes down those rabbit holes, they know that there's some cheddar cheese going on with Zelensky and Ukraine. So I don't even want to get into that, because it's not even anything that I'm well enough versed on to know that I can speak on. But it is something that I'm well enough versed on to know that something is fishy over their ways. Am I supposed to defend myself? There was a time where I would have been like, whoa, but I don't want to offend anybody, you know. And you have to be kind and courteous. At first, you think it's for the audience, it's for you guys, it's for this, that, and the other thing. But the truth is, you know, I've been canceled. I've had an entire podcast, a whole show pulled. We've talked about it. And by the way, we're going up. So if you do go to Instagram.com/TheRealBecomingTheFree, or is it The Real BTF Podcast? Yeah, I think that's what it is. The Real BTF Podcast. We're up. We haven't posted anything yet, but we have recorded 3 episodes properly. A few of them editing. We're still working on the intros and that sort of stuff. So that's going back up. So to any of you that listen to us now and that also listen to that, it's going back up. So you'll be made aware when we are live, but it's very soon. It's very exciting. A lot of fun. And that show's also a male empowerment show, a people empowerment show, an inclusivity empowerment show. I think that more people need to be empowered. I think that every single person on this planet needs to be empowered, because anyone operating from weakness, scarcity, insecurity, these are the people that are deemed toxic masculinity. These are the people that are terrible. These are the people that will ruin your life over a pack of matches. Because we're taught scarcity. We're taught to be afraid. We're taught all this sort of stuff. We don't need to be that way. Humanity's natural resting spot is kindness. It is kindness. It's always been kindness. When you're left to your own devices without any form of influence whatsoever, you're going to be kind. Will Smith at the Oscars. Just in a little fun ramble of conspiracy. I don't know what you guys think of this or take of this, but for me, it's like, I don't know. I came across a TikTok, and the guy he said it the best, and I'm going to see if I can dig it up here and play, because it's absolutely hilarious. It's like, I'll play this and then I'll get over to Will Smith at the Oscars.
Conspiracy theories. I understand not all of them, not most of them, but you don't believe in any conspiracy theories? You just think the government's just batting 1,000 and telling us the whole truth? That's a strong stance to take.
That is a strong stance to take. It's hard to believe that would be where people are. But they are. Right? So if you start thinking or talking or saying anything that has to do anything with outside the box thinking, then you're the bad guy, right? But are you? I mean, are we allowed to be the bad guy? Is that being inclusive? And think about all the times that maybe we want to shoot hate at somebody, or hate has been shot at us. That's not inclusive either. And the people that are preaching inclusivity are also doing so at the cost of somebody else. Why? So weird. But one of the most beautiful things in the entire world right now is that the narrative is literally cannibalizing itself. We get to live in an opportunity where everything went to shit, and now it's all coming back. It's all sort of making sense. All the people that are filled with rage and aggression are turned on everything. Like, it's just these people are pointed in every direction. And guys like you and me, women like you and me, the audience, every single person out there that's listening to this show right now, I would like to believe you guys are past aggression. We don't need it anymore. It was something that woke us up and we used it at a time, but it's not something that we need to continue doing, utilizing, feeling, sensing, understanding. I don't know. I think that we're all in a spot now that allows us to see things a little bit differently. And every single person that's talked about the Will Smith Oscar thing, they've got a different take, a different opinion. I heard one guy say, look at all the things that, Chris Rock was thinking that was going through his head, because Chris Rock's a powerful man. Anybody else slap him like that, he's going to do something. Right? Why did Will Smith walk up, slap him, and walk away? It reminded me of that cool guys don't look at explosions business. You guys remember that? Like, you don't walk away like you just done business. Like that, you just, with that strut, that walk away strut. Why did Chris Rock lean into it? Why didn't he try to deflect, protect, back up? None of that. I even saw a clip, and it's like 8K imagery shows Chris Rock had pad on face. I'm like, that's kind of funny, but maybe true. Maybe he really didn't want them finger marks on his face. Why was Will Smith's hand fully cocked in a bitch slap stance? Why did any of this take place? Was it real? Was it not real? Everyone that you talk to about this has an opinion. And everyone seems to be definitive. I'm right. Why? Why do you need to be right? Why can't we just enjoy the mystery of what it might or might not be? I don't understand. There's no need to argue over this. That shit happened. Two well-known actors did some shit. Why wouldn't they be acting? Why wouldn't it be just an act? Why does it have to be real? Why can't we realize that Joe Biden's not really a president? This guy can't even form a sentence. Yet we're supposed to believe he's the leader of the free world. At what point does the full narrative start crumbling down? At what point do we realize that most of the governments are working against us? At what point do we realize that most of Hollywood has been feeding us some sort of a narrative, a hate narrative? Imagine that was Robert De Niro that went up there and smacked him. That would then be spun as racism. The media could do anything they wanted. They could have done anything. People are even saying right now that Will Smith is the blackface of black on black crime. It's like the insults. Like, it's so much stuff that's going on out there. There's so many opinions about this, right? And I think the point is, it's another point of contention for people to fight about. I'm not allowed to speak on Facebook. Facebook has deemed me terrible, right? I've had my podcast pulled, and you guys have been listening to me for years now, and I don't think I'm offensive. I think, if anything, I just ask enough questions to make more people ask more questions. And that, I think, is what makes me the biggest threat of all, or one of them. I'm not the biggest threat of all. Tooting my own horn a little bit there. But I'm certainly a threat to their ideology. I'm certainly a threat to their freedom of slavery. Their thought processes. I'm a threat to the way we have been living. And it's not fair to us, in keeping with inclusivity, it's not fair to us to continue to live this way. There's so much more out there that we can do, think, be, see, speak on, be a part of, experience. And fighting each other is what they're making us do. And when I say they, I mean whoever's shaking the jar. And whenever I say whoever's shaking the jar, I'm referring to an old quote that I once got banned from. Not banned, but I got warned on Instagram for sharing. And that quote was, there are black ants and red ants in the jar, and they will leave each other alone. They won't fight. Until somebody starts shaking the jar, then you'll see the black ants fight the red ants. And the red ants fight the black ants. And while the ants are fighting each other, nobody's asking who shook the jar. Right now, we are the ants. And we're being played and pulled and pawned and all sorts of ridiculousnesses. And we're all fighting each other. But right now, at this moment in time, people are starting to ask who's shaking the jar. And that is incredible. That's some incredible stuff. I love it. I think that, like I said, the narrative is cannibalizing itself. And that's okay. Like, it's a joyous thing to watch people wake up to it. So was it all that bad when the end result is more and more people are becoming aware of the bullshit that they once thought was so very important? I don't think so. Ladies and gentlemen, check out the stuff that we're up to. www.thementalmasteryalliance.com. head over to Instagram. We're over there as well. Take a look at that stuff. See if you like anything. If you're not following us on Instagram, please do. If you have any questions, shoot us a DM. If you want to send us a text, by all means, 647-338-1265. Feel free. If you want to send us an email, info@the Mental Mastery Alliance, please do. We want to answer your questions. We want to check it out. We want to see what you're doing. And we want to know if there's anything that we could do for you, talk about, that would help you, benefit you. And we're going to go into more personal empowerment stuff in the future. A lot of this stuff has to go, the energy has to go up, right? I'm going to do my best to push the energy up as high as I possibly can until I get Facebook jailed all over whatever other jails there are. Facebook jail, Insta jail, podcast jail, jail. I'm pretty sure all the cool people are in jail right now. And it's not because they're criminals, because, oh man, criminality has taken an entirely different turn now. If you go against the government, you are a criminal. That used to make sense. Don't speed, don't do this, don't do that. And then you ask yourself why. Anyway, there's a million things going on. If you're looking for one-on-one coaching, if you're looking for group coaching, if you're looking for some way to expand your mind, we offer all that. We're out there. We're available. We're looking to speak with you guys. If you want to be on the show, if you've got something that you want to talk about, shoot us an email. Shoot us a text. What's the worst that could happen? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fun little pop-on podcast for me. We've been recording all day for all kinds of different episodes, and I just really wanted to get this out here for you guys, and I want to talk about this. Coming up later on in the week or early next week, there will be, I have a guest coming on that I'm really excited to speak to. She has gone through some major mental shifts. She has overcome major surgeries, all in the name of what society thinks that she should look like and how it allowed her to feel about herself a certain way, a manipulated way. And this is a very, very empowering episode, and she is an amazing person, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, in the infamous words of Red Green, keep your stick on the ice.
Thank you for listening to today's Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Let the team know you're listening by using the hashtag MMA and Mental Mastery Alliance. Want more motivation? Be sure to follow online on Instagram @Mental Mastery Alliance and on Facebook @Mental Mastery Alliance. And remember, your perception creates your reality. Make it a great day.
You got it, Pontiac.